What's up, everybody, and welcome in to the College Basketball Countdown. I am your host, Jeff Nadeau, and it is Saturday here on pubsportsradio.com. Thank you for watching. As always, make sure if you're checking out the YouTube video, hit that like button. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. There's so much great content here from a sports betting standpoint here on Pub Sports Radio. We got a locked and loaded card as we usually do on Saturday, coming off a pretty nice week last week, 3-1-1 with my plays here on the show. I wish Houston was able to cover. Would have been a 4-1 day, but we'll take a winning day nonetheless. Also gave you the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We'll take it. Got a lot to get into today. We are getting close to crunch time here in college basketball. There is a lot going on. I will say I thought this card was a bit tougher this week than last week. I see Michael Johnson says tough card today, and he's not wrong. This was a bit tougher of a card, at least to me. We're already seeing people lining up, which I'm excited about. We always get a great participation here on Pub Sports Radio. And don't forget, in a month, Pubapalooza is in San Antonio. If you're not familiar with what Pubapalooza is, it's a gathering of a bunch of people that love the sports bet, party, and have a good time. It'll be in San Antonio at the Great Southtown 101 and in that area for the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. And I do believe I will be there. So if you'd like to meet me, if you'd like to come and tell me to go fuck myself to my face, here's your chance. So, hope to see you. But let's say hello to some folks. Smoking Mirrors, what's going on? Ian Shaber, Saturdays have been rough on me. Well, hopefully you have a good Saturday today, Ian. Julian, what's up? Gerald Jones, what up? Richmond, Virginia in the building. Shout out to Richmond. Perky says UVA or Creighton today, but the early state has me stuck. I'm all in on Wisconsin. Well, good luck, man. Good luck. Joey Harr, Michael Johnson, Billy Friedrich, Charlie, what up? Big T, shout out to you. Who else do we have in here? Matt Swanson, Jack Falk. What up, Jack? Says morning, Jeff and chat. Same to you, brother. Melvin Batantis, what up? Brandon Kavanaugh, King Ooh, my man. What's going on? Perky says jumpin' Jeffrey Nadeau, a.k.a. Nukem Nadeau, a.k.a. the professor. All right. Whenever I'm on TikTok, and I'm being honest, I didn't say this. Okay. I want to say this again. I did not say this. I don't want to hear people saying, Nadeau said he looked like so-and-so. I didn't say this. Remember, I didn't say this. But the two people they say I look like on TikTok when I go live are a washed-up Mark Wahlberg. I don't see it, but I'll take it. And the professor from AM1. Maybe it's my hair. I don't know. I didn't say that, though. I did not say Mark Wahlberg. Jose, do you hear? I did not say that.
I can confirm.
Okay, thank you. Ryan says, will you be in San Antonio? Yes. Other than passing away between now and then, but hopefully I don't. I know people love to hate, but great call on Aztecs, and let's get one more from Ipswich Swansea. Oh, but please don't update me. I like this hour because I don't have to know what's going on there. So I'd urge you don't tell me what's going on. That said, I'd expect goals in that game. And as far as we know, both teams have scored. So that's good. We just need one more. So hopefully that one cashes. We've got a lot of games, though. So hopefully they all come in. All right, let's get into the card today. We will open it up to questions after we get through these 5 games. Whatever. These 5 games. After we get to those, we're in. All right, so let's start out here. M. SZA, what's up? Fote the Goat, what's up? A lot of people in here. Thank you for checking out the show. All right, let's get into it. TCU, Kansas State. First game on the card here on a Saturday. It's one of those noon games. When you look at this one, okay, I think when you watch it, you're going to say, why am I watching this game? This is a rough game on the eyes. And it is. It will be. Both these teams have turnover issues. So for Kansas State, it's not going to be just them that turn the ball over. And Kansas State is aggravating to bet on. They just are. But if you can get past knowing that they're going to turn the ball over and you just have to accept it, then they just are where they are. But I don't think today it's going to be that egregious because I think TCU will do it as well. You look at K-State, a lot of people don't give this group enough credit, but this is a really good, dominating defense. They've been really good all season. And I will give Tang some credit on that standpoint. They have been very good. And when you look at them in the half court, I mean, they have been elite. This is the top 2-point and 3-point defense in the Big 12. With all the good defenses, remember, Houston is in this conference, and they have a better 2-point and 3-point defense than Houston. That's impressive. This is the best conference in basketball, and that has to be discussed. They are a very good defense. Throw in the fact they're at home here, which that's a really difficult place to play. And TCU hasn't exactly been good lately. I mean, they've lost 2 or 3. The only win was against lowly West Virginia, who's the worst team in this conference, and the game was at home. I get why K-State's a favorite here, and I feel like they should be. This is a desperate game for a desperate team. And I'll tell you, in these matchups against these types of teams, I'll take K-State. Look, again, I know they can be irritating with the turnovers, but I have to tell you, I've been very happy with Tyler Perry. I think he's been terrific for them. He didn't play well the other night against BYU, and it was the reason they lost the game. He only took 2 shots. He wasn't good from 3. And he only had 9 points, which for them, that can't happen. He needs to score for them to win. He is their best player. He's their most dynamic offensive player. He wasn't good enough the other night. And look, they lost 72-66, but you hold BYU to 72 points in their building. That's pretty impressive. And he didn't even play well. If he plays well the other night, they probably win. So I think K-State should look recently at what they've done and be pretty happy with it. This is the game you obviously have to have being at home here. And that building is, look, is it Lawrence? No, but it's still damn good. And if K-State won any chance of doing anything, they have to start putting some wins together here at 15-9 in the conference. So I'm going to back K-State here. I think they get the job done. I'll play the money line. Troy Torrance, what up? Raymond Reichart, what's going on, brother? Troy Torrance is K-State first half. So you're just expecting them to be up at the half. I don't hate it. The first half minus the halves are always those games where you say to yourself, when you look back, like, let's say it's 10 minutes left in the game and they were up at the first half and the game's getting close. You're like, damn, I wish I would have played that. But I think this is a tedious game. It's not going to be easy to watch. But this is a good spot for K-State back at home. TCU has also TCU is not good defensively. You look at the difference in this game, it's going to be on the defensive end. So, yeah. You look at the wins for TCU on the road this year. At Georgetown by 1. Who cares? Georgetown blows. At Hawaii, they suck. At Oklahoma State, they suck. And a 3 overtime win against Baylor. Game could have went either way. So at no point have we been impressed by TCU. I think K-State gets it done today. Nutflush Allen, what's up, my man? Hope all is well with you. I hope you're having a good start to your morning. Coin says, let's have a great Saturday. Get some UConn under in the pocket. We'll get to that. Make sure you ask me about it when we discuss that game or the Q&A. All right, Texas-Houston. Big old Texas matchup. We got the big boys in Texas getting it popping today in Houston. H-Town, baby. Stand up. Big game today in Houston. That's my Texas accent. Which isn't good. But here we go. You guys know I love Houston. Let me say it again. I love Houston. Okay. I'm not going to say I get aroused watching them defensively, but I enjoy watching them play defensively. They're very good. And let me remind you what they do on defense. Once the ball handler crosses half court, they immediately swarm the ball handler with a big and a guard. Okay, they call it the line of scrimmage. They don't get past the line of scrimmage when they put their hands up, but they make it very difficult. And as they're defending, they're backing the point guard up closer and closer to the half-court line. He tries to outlet pass it, but they have 3 other guys there. They jump into outlet lanes and turn you over. However, you look at the first time these two teams played here. Texas was very good. They only turned the ball over 10 times, which, again, this is the key. If you have solid older guards, experienced guards, you can hang in a game. You look at A. Smith, you look at Tyrese Hunter, junior and senior. Phil Horton, a senior. Dylan Mitchell, a sophomore, but he's played. Disu, senior. Shedrick, senior. Brock Cunningham, senior. This is a top 10 experienced team in America. Okay, they've seen this before. And remember this game the first time. This was very close. This is one of the only opponents that Houston really struggled with, this year. Now, again, I know you got to go to Houston, but you're getting 10 points here. It's hard to bet into Houston. It just is. I feel like Texas is a team that is live to handle this. I really do. I really, really do. And I will say, I mean, maybe I'm just blinded because Houston hasn't been great in the second halves of games defensively, but I didn't think they were good at all against Oklahoma State about a week ago, 10 days ago. I think Texas, this is just too many points. Again, I really like Houston, but we'll see with them offensively at times. They get a bit stagnant. That's just the truth. I think Texas, experience-wise, had the ability to hang in this game, and I think they have the ability to make it respectable on the glass. The one thing about Houston, you cannot allow them to go off on the glass because they will, and they will destroy you. You look at the first time these two teams played, Houston had 15 offensive rebounds, and they still barely won. What that tells you is if you can handle this go-at-you pressure, you can hang in the game. If you can make shots, which, look, that's standard. If you make shots, you can hang in games. Everybody knows that. This is a Texas team that is really good offensively this year. We have to discuss, they are almost at 40% in conference from three. Do I remind you, another team that got really hot from three against Houston? Oh, yeah, Kansas. Now, I know that was in Kansas, and that home court advantage was great, but you're getting 10 points here. I'm going to back Texas. I'm going to trust the experience. Just want to make this clear, though. It is not easy to bet road teams. I get it. You always got to very much question when you do it. But I do think there are spots today on this card where you can grab teams getting what I think a little bit too many points. All right. We're through two games here. Jose looks like a hybrid mix between Brad Pitt and Bartolo Colon. Interesting. Can't say I've seen it. I said Mark Wahlberg a while back when he lost weight. Oh, so you said it. Okay. Well, there's been a lot of people that have said it. I'll take it. Truly. I will take it. There are worse people to look like than him. In fact, that's great. As long as you don't, I've heard Babe Ruth, I've heard Al Capone, I've heard Turtle from Entourage, I've heard Mark Wahlberg, I've heard The Professor, I've heard Spanky from Little Rascals, I've heard that guy from Three Stooges. I've heard all of it. Hezbollah, I've heard all of it. None of which I'm that disappointed in. I said hello to Raymond Reichard, I believe. He's always in here, and I appreciate him joining us. C. Vaughn says, Nadio on a Saturday morning, let's fucking go. Oh, yeah, let's do it. Robert Franklin, I agree, got to have good guard play. Yes, you do to handle this. That's the key. That's the key. You're very rarely going to see a team turn a ball over only 10 times against Houston. And it's not like they're pickpocketing you. They just put you in bad spots where you're looking to outlet the ball across the court because you're trapped. They're very good at jumping into passing lanes, jumping into the ball. Like, they're just really good at doing that stuff. I've discussed it. Jordan Sperber, Hoop Vision, has a great YouTube channel. He did a terrific video on Houston's defense. It's fascinating. Rant says, I like Texas getting 10. Yeah, let's do it. It's not easy, but I thought the line was good. I think it's a little high. I'd have put it more at like 8.5. So I think we're getting a couple of points here. Razor Sharp Pick says, shout out to everyone. What's up, Jeff? What up, Razor? Razor, I'll tell you, I was hurting yesterday. Hurting with the horses. I'm not kidding. I went off yesterday and pick fours and pick fives. I didn't hit a fucking one. Usually I hit at least one and I make no money because the chalk always comes in. I didn't hit anything yesterday. It was ugly. Shout out to you, though, Razor. I saw you hit a pick 5 or pick 4 at Laurel. Nice work. Good stuff. No surprise. Nasty Nate says, Mark Wahlberg, 8,000 question marks. I didn't say it. I'm just telling you what TikTok tells me. I don't see it. I'm just telling you what. But leave it to you to only hear what you want to hear. I didn't say it. Remember. All right. Arkansas, Mississippi State. I'm just going to say it. I think this is too many points. I know Arkansas sucks. I get it. They have not played well. They got blown out the other night. It doesn't seem like they can ever figure out a lineup. But going into that game, they had actually played a little bit better without Trayvon Brazile. I feel like they kind of settled on a lineup. I just think we're talking that Arkansas still has kids that are talented. Look, everyone gets beat by Tennessee a lot of the time by margin. We all know that. And that was a great spot for Tennessee. Coming off a loss, if you speed up Tennessee, you're going to get beat up, and that's what Arkansas did. I think this is a better matchup for them. Look, Arkansas is very good at getting to the free throw line. That can keep you in games. They have Tremont Mark. This number opens 12.5. There are 12.5s out there. I'm just going to settle on them. I think this is too many points. I think at some point you have to have some sort of pride if you're Arkansas. This has been a disappointing season. I think they're one of the more disappointing teams in the country. But again, we've seen them spring up and find ways to win. We saw them beat A&M. This is 12 points. And this is not Alabama. This is not Auburn. This is not Kentucky. This is not Tennessee. This ain't even Texas A&M. Mississippi State's solid, don't get me wrong. But they're not a team that's built to lay these kind of numbers. They just aren't. So I'm going to lean on the fact that I think Arkansas can hang in the game a little bit. And 12 is just too many. So what did I just say? I'm backing 2 road teams. Not great. But I'm going to feel that I am just getting too many points here. Michael Johnson says, Yo, Razor, do you like anything in Santa Anita? I'm just going to say this real quick. He made a great point on Santa Anita yesterday. They start the card so late because they got to wait to get the chalk because school's in session until 4 o'clock. That fucking racetrack is unbelievable. And wouldn't you know it? Get this. The late pick 4 at Santa Anita yesterday. I chalkied it. A lot of chalk. Wouldn't you know, a $77 horse in the first race. If I'd have hit all, the 3 to 5 would have came in. Just brutal. Santa Anita is all brutal. Brutal. Just sickening. No ticket Nadu whining on Twitter never gets old. But hey, here you are. RW, you always are here. Thank you for watching. It's 10:50 in the morning, and what better things for you to do than come watch me? This is the great thing about this business, guys. If you're in this business, this is the great thing about it, because no other business do you have people that fucking hate your guts, but they benefit you by watching you. Understand that if I have a shitty restaurant and the food sucks, nobody's coming. But in this business, people can hate you and they still watch, and it benefits you because in the end, the more listeners you get, the more money you may make, or the company that you are doing work for gets more subscribers and gets more views, and they make more money. These folks don't seem to understand this. It's like Cardi B at one point when she won a Grammy and someone booed her, and she said, you know what, you can boo me, but you know what? You all buy my records, so you could talk shit about it, and guess what? It benefits me. And that's the thing. I love the negatives. I do. RW, what does it even mean? If I show, this is why you can't win with you folks. If you show the ticket, it's not mine. I bought it. Somebody else's. It's Photoshop. You can't win with you fucks. You move the fucking goalposts like crazy. First, I don't show a ticket. Then I show a ticket. Then it's not mine. Then it's fake. Then I got it from someone else. You can't win with you fucking clowns. So I don't try to win. I just laugh at you because at 10:50 in the morning, you're here with all of us because in the end, we're the professionals and you're here to Steal from us. That's what you do. You come here and talk shit and then steal from people like me and Michael and Troy and Razor and all these great people in the chat. You're a fucking freeloader. That's what you are, RW. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome in this chat, and you can fuck off for all I care. So there you go. Thank you for watching. Nasty Nate says some people come here. At what point did I interject your name into it? All right. Erwin Simmons says, I love your picks. Thank you, Erwin. Welcome in, bro. Michael Johnson says, hit that like button. Absolutely. All right. Bernard King says, get to the picks. Bernard, I don't know if you noticed, but we've already went through 3 picks. We're about to get to number 4. A little fire from Jeff. I love the fire. I love the fire. Let's go. Morehead, Tennessee Martin. I like this game. I really like this game. Morehead, we all like Morehead, coming off a loss at Little Rock the other night. And I feel like if you've watched Morehead, you saw that maybe coming a little bit. Morehead been rolling. Little Rock, solid team, good group in the OVC. Probably the one team that I think could probably stand in their way. Maybe Western Illinois. But this Morehead team is solid. And I'd expect, off a loss against a team in Tennessee Martin, they beat up the first time they played. I'd expect a bounce back from Morehead here. And I think you're getting a decent price because if Morehead had won the other night, this would be a 5, 6, 7 point line. They didn't know. Tennessee Martin struggles defensively. They're not good defensively at the rim. And Morehead, you are not getting to the rim against them. They are standoffish. They are particularly strong in front of the rim. I think it's a great matchup for Morehead. I think they get the job done here. I think they bounce back off a loss. And again, you go back to the first game these guys played, 84-66. Very solid win for Morehead State University. I am a little worried. Jordan Lathan hasn't played recently for Morehead, but I think kind of the adjustment in the line, I think we're good here. I'm going to grab Morehead, laying 3.5 in this one. RW says, you just don't bet games, Jeff. We all know it. Just a scammer through and through. Hey, RW, do me a favor. We should drop him the link. Why don't you come on here and tell me that to my face? I don't think you will. Because like everyone else, you're a fucking pussy and you have no balls. You sit behind a fake account. But let's not worry about idiots. Let's just disregard him. How about we just get rid of him? He can fuck off. We don't need him here. He's not a regular. He's just come on here to talk shit. And we've gotten his view already. We don't need him anymore. And he can still watch. We're just not going to hear his nonsense. Canes Nation, what up, my man? Thank you for watching. Robert Franklin says, I'm on Morehead and the over. Well, listen, they scored 84 in the first game. I believe the game got to 150. Again, the one knock on this play is Jordan Lathan. He's been out recently. Jordan's a good player. You look at the first time they played, he had 22 points in that game. They have to find a way to pick up for his slack. But without him, they've gotten the job done. They won 2 games by double digits and did lose the other night against Little Rock. But again, Little Rock is a good team. Craig Wood says SIUE shut down Morehead earlier this year. Well, not going to win every game. Not going to win every game. Fote the Goat says W move. Yeah, well, he can go fuck himself. Helms, what up, Helms? Thanks for joining us, brother. All right, one more game, then we're going to get to some of your questions. And again, if you've missed any games, we'll get to the end and we'll recap these ones. But Weber State, Eastern Washington. I'll tell you what, there is no more irritating team in the country than Eastern Washington. I mean, this team just falls apart over the last 10 minutes of games. I don't know why. You can watch their games. Like, they'll be up 11, and then you'll check it a minute later, and they're up 3. Like, they're just a disaster late in games. So what I'm going to tell you here is I watched the first game these two teams played. Listen, the good thing about Eastern Washington is they're a great offensive team. They're just not very good on defense. And that's kind of the knock. First game was 80-78. I don't think I see much difference here. Eastern Washington's a great offensive team, and I don't think they're very good defensively. I know the numbers say they are, but this team finds ways to let teams hang in games. And you look at the last 3 games for Eastern Washington, 90-77, 87-79, and 88-82. Throw in the fact that you go back to the last time they played, 80-78 in Weber. I don't understand this number. I don't understand it. I think the line should be 155. Eastern Washington just cannot be trusted. They cannot be trusted defensively anymore, and I'm not going to do it. Throw in the fact they play the fastest tempo in this conference. They're always going to push pace. And Weber, for the most part, in conference, have actually played pretty fast. I mean, they're 5th in the conference in tempo. I figure we have a lot of free throws in this game. These are the 2 top teams in the league at getting to the line. These are 2 teams that are very good from the line. I think this number's too low. Over 150. Over 150. In, again, what I think is a fun back-and-forth matchup. Gerald Jones, what's going on? Thanks for watching, bro. EQ, if I was a mod, I'd already get his ass out of here. Well, we got him out. Thank you for watching, EQ. Yeah, that's the cool thing about YouTube, too. So he's not allowed to talk, but he can still watch. So, hi, pal. These guys get so annoyed. You know, it's like, what is he even talking about either? Like, I'm a scammer? I guess I missed that memo. AOD says, smash that like button. Appreciate that, brother. All right, let's get into your questions. Nate, at the end, it'd be great if you could give us some UFC looks. You've said you've been pretty solid, so I'm interested if you don't mind. I haven't looked at the card today. I may later, but I haven't looked at the card. I mean, it's hard to not bet Volkanovski, but I mean, I'll look later. There's so much going on. I like Merab as well. Fuck Henry Cejudo. But we'll get to that later. I also have horses to bet. I got soccer to wager on, and basketball. So I got a lot going on today. So I don't think. But feel free if anybody has anything, drop them in the chat. Woo, Kenny Woo says Merab is best play tonight. Yeah, I agree. Okay, drop your questions now. If you can, please include the line and who the team's playing. I know most matchups today, but sometimes there's a bunch of games today, so I got to do what I got to do. First game, Michael Johnson says, what do you think about Iowa State -6.5 versus A&M? They don't play A&M. They play Texas Tech. I'm a little confused here. Leaning State? I don't know. I think you're talking about Iowa State, Texas Tech. You're leaning State. So you're leaning Iowa State. Well, listen, Iowa State's been one of the better against the spread teams in the country. And generally when you play Iowa State and you're handicapping against them, you want to look at what that team did that they're playing against Houston. And Texas Tech really struggled against Houston, like really struggled. 77-54. And why I say that, Iowa State and Houston are very similar in the way they defend. I think we can make the case. This is a really interesting team from a future standpoint. Iowa State is really good, guys. Really good. I love Taman Lindsay. Mamlakovic is terrific. I really like this team. And they have been a rock at home. Do we trust the recent turnaround by Texas Tech defensively? I'm not so sure. UCF isn't good on offense. And we all saw what Kansas was without McCullough. Just struggled, right? That was a tough spot for them. They're not good on the road. Can they do it again? My first thought was under. The problem is this total. They're starting to figure out Iowa State totals. They were putting them in the 140s a lot. They were too high. I picked them off last week against TCU. It was a 144 total. Didn't even come close. But now they're starting to line them, 135, 136. I still kind of lean under, though. Anytime Iowa State plays, it is a grinded out, slow basketball game. And this is just the tonic to figure out a good Texas Tech offense. Throw in the fact, though, that both these teams are very slow, ungodly slow. I kind of leaned under personally. I think the number's probably pretty sharp from a side standpoint. Yale versus Princeton. I got Princeton money line plus 138. I don't really back a team. I don't like these back-to-back spots. I will say though, Yale didn't have Matt Noling last night in that game against Penn, a game they rolled in. But Princeton compared to Penn is a lot different. I can't bet Yale without knowing his status. Yale's good, man. James Jones, a great coach. That's something that I think you have to be cognizant of. Matt Noling's a good player, probably their best player. Raymond Reichert says Yale, Princeton. Yeah, like we just talked about that, obviously. Kansas, Oklahoma, Troy Torrance. Yeah, this is a game. So we have that guy that asked about money line parlays a lot. I'd put Kansas in a money line parlay. I'm not rolling to like 2-3 with them, but this number was 1.5. It's being bet up. I think the thought is with McCullough back, Kansas is more backable on the road. But I can understand if you have reservations about betting them on the road. They're just not the same team. It's a lot of teams in college basketball. And Oklahoma is well coached. They're kind of one of those teams in the Big 12 where you're always going to get a great game. That said, at what point this year have anyone been impressed by Oklahoma in conference? Seems like anytime they step up, they've failed. Couldn't beat TCU in TCU, couldn't beat Kansas. I will say, good win against Iowa State back on January 6th. But other than that, what have they done recently? I think the most impressive thing they probably did was go to K-State and win by 20. Nobody does that. But I lean Kansas. It almost seems like we're starting to find out that maybe OU's solid, but can they actually beat Kansas now that they're fully healthy? I don't know that I see it. Not a game I'm running to bet, though. What are your thoughts on Duke against FSU? I don't know. Numbers seemed a little light to me, but I'm going to continue to point out Duke is not a good defensive team. I just can't get involved. We know Florida State always long. They're always a young team, though. They're hard to kind of back. They do some kind of skitsy, annoying things. And you got to lay points on the road. It's not ideal to me. This is a conference that I just don't think is very good. Now, Duke is going to be, Duke's fine because they're significantly better than most teams in this conference. But this is a bad conference as a whole. I didn't have much on this one. Thoughts on Wisconsin, Iowa? Well, look, I mean, it's the Big Ten. I'm always going to tell you to bet home teams in this conference. I will say I kind of like the over. I think we think of Wisconsin as this slow grinder team that wants to play 56, 54 games. They're not that team anymore. They're not good on defense. AJ Storrs offered a lot more for this group offensively this year. Not a lot of people are aware of this. This is the best 2-point offense in the conference. Yeah, they're better than Purdue. So I think that kind of shows you how solid offensively this team is. Two teams that can't stop a fucking nosebleed. So I lean over. We know Iowa could score. I mean, they scored every game, and they suck on defense. Wisconsin's only 6th in the conference defensively, but I think it's worse. They are not good game to game. And look, Iowa always presents major issues. I'd lean Iowa at home just because I don't want to bet a road team in the Big Ten, but I think the play in this game to me is the over. What do you think about Albany, Maryland, Baltimore County, 175.5? Well, it was 179 now, I believe, at one point. Let me double check on that. I want to say it was 179. It was the highest total I think I've seen this year. I think it's the highest total I've ever seen in general. What is this conference? This is the America East. It was 179.5. Now down to 174. Now understand who's betting it down to 174. The public is not betting this game. It's smarter people, like a lot of people in this chat that know these teams, and sharps. And sharps are looking at this game and saying, okay, now understand, they'll bet it under 165 every time because that's really hard to do. It's hard to get to 165. I mean, you need 90 from a team, essentially, or 88, 86 or something. Think about this, 179. What do you need to go right? I mean, you would essentially need both teams to get into the 90s to feel comfortable. That's hard to do in college basketball. You need a lot to go right. At this price, 174, I lean over. These are two teams that are both going to oblige each other. And when I say oblige each other, what do I mean by that? Albany, 6th in America in tempo. UMBC, 5th. First time these two teams played, guys. Let me explain. First time they played in 40 minutes, 114-102. In regulation, didn't go to 3 overtime, 114-102. Albany shot 61% from 2. UMBC shot 63% from 2. They both shot 39 and 38% from 3. This was just a layup line on both sides. That's what this was. I'm betting this over 174. I'll gladly take the best number here. And we know the money is just a norm. They're always going to bet these games under. I mean, the first game got to 216. We don't even need that. We just need 175. That's it. Let's add this one. I normally put out 5 plays in this show, but I'm going to do 6. 174. Over. By the way, Joey Harb, I will just say this. If you're betting this under at 174, 175, I would strongly advise to not do that. You could have, I didn't understood if you'd have bet it at 179.5, but we're not there anymore. And 4 or 5 points could be a big difference in this game. This game could fall, 90-86, where you lose at 174 when you would have won at 179. That's a big amount of points. So, in this kind of game, 4 or 5 points, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but, you always want to bet the best price, which I don't need to tell you that. You're a smart guy. You know that. C. Vaughn says Utah State, Colorado State. Feels like a few too many. I'm not so sure. I mean, Colorado State, I have to wonder where their head's at. I will say I'm 34 years old. I've been watching basketball since I was filling out March Madness brackets at 8, 9 years old. 25 years I've been watching college basketball. I have never seen a team do what San Diego State did the other night. And for anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to tell you. At the half the other night against Colorado State, San Diego State had given up 44 points in the first half. They were on pace to give up nearly 90. And guess how many points Colorado State scored in the game? Total. 55. San Diego State held them to 11 points in the second half. I've never seen that before. That is one of the more impressive, most unbelievable things I've ever seen. And the in-game adjuster that a Dutcher is at San Diego State, last night, another fucking clinic. He just out-coached Mr. Patino, the young son. And they're a rock at home. And that is unbelievable. To hold a team to 11 points in the second half. So you have to wonder where Colorado State's at. And this is one of the better offensive teams in the country they did that to. They were just blitzed in the second half defensively. Coming back home, you'd figure it's a lot different this time around. This is a revenge game for Colorado State. Utah State beat them 77-72 the first time. A great Osipor at 20 points in that game. I will say, I guess I start to kind of feel your thought. Does a change of venue mean that much? I feel like it does in this conference, as in any conference. I'd expect Colorado State has a better kind of game plan for Osipor. You keep him out of the post a little bit, but not a game I was running to bet. I can understand your point. This is a great conference, though, and I can understand where maybe you feel like it's a close game. I put this number at like 4.5, 5. So I don't know if there's a ton of value here, but I don't know. It's a pass for me overall. Good game. Should be a good game. All right, so we have the Polish Mobster 91 in here. Polish Mob, never a group you want to fuck around with. The Kielbasa Posse, as they're referred to. And that's true. In Philadelphia years ago, there was a mob group run by Polish gangsters called the Kielbasa Posse. You can look it up. It's not a lie either. Miami, BC. What are your thoughts here? I lean BC in this one. This one has been bet down significantly. In fact, Miami opened favorite. BC's now the favorite. Miami's just not great. Defensively, they're not good. I don't think they're as dynamic as offensively as they've been. They've had people out. This is a hard road trip, too. I mean, this is a pretty far trip if you're Miami. I'm never one to hold those over people's heads, but, BC is won 3 of their last 5. One was a close loss against Florida State. I don't think this team's that bad. Earl Grant's a pretty good coach. Miami's just not a group I'm interested in. 3 straight losses, another pitiful effort against Clemson the other night. Now you got to go on the road. Numbers flipped. I'd be on BC here, Polish mobster. All right. Do you have any thoughts on Illinois, Maryland? Yeah, I think first glance I lean Maryland. However, there is one team that has done a nice job on the road this year in this conference, and it's Illinois. So, I don't know. I was conflicted on this one. I think Maryland is really good on defense, really good. In College Park, weird things happen there, but the one team that's taking care of business is Illinois on the road. I will say I think all the things point to Illinois schematically, but again, home court advantage is so important in this conference. I think I leaned under. I've noticed with Maryland, they have really been able to get teams out of their frantic pace, right? Up and down. And they held Iowa to 66 points. The first time these two teams played, it was early 140s. What is the total in this game? Let me take a look here. I think it's 146-ish. Let me double check here. No, it's not. It's 139. It was way off. So, yeah, never mind. Why did I think this? I thought this total was higher. Good total there by the book. So, never mind. It's a tough one. I can make cases for both sides. Indiana State against Southern Illinois. So the other day, I kind of felt like Indiana State was going to get picked off. I mean, they were finally ranked. All I see is these goofy videos about Robbie Avila and the way he looks. He's got the stupid glasses. Like, we see this every year. And what did they do? They went on the road and got beat up by Illinois State after getting ranked for the first time since probably Larry Bird was there. So I thought that was kind of a good spot. I think, though, for people that have asked about this, a couple of people, Robert Franklin asked about this, Fote the Goat asked about this. I think this is a good spot for Indiana State to bounce back. I will say, though, Southern Illinois is kind of a complete opposite team of Indiana State. They want to take this game to a grinding halt. Indiana State wants to run up and down. But you look at Southern Illinois, really struggled with Drake, and Belmont and teams that can speed you up. So I definitely lean Indiana State. I think this is a good spot for that group to bounce back tonight. 15 more minutes or so, we will be on here, folks. So continue to stay tuned. We have a winner. We have a resolution in Preston North End. That is a winner. That one is 2-2 in the 54th minute. Very high scoring game. Swansea Ipswich. That is a winner as well. And it looks like Watford cannot seem to do anything positive against the worst team in the championship, Rotherham, who have given up nearly 60 goals this season. Watford has not even had a chances to score. This has been a completely pitiful effort from Watford. But that said, looks like it's going to be a winning day in the England Championship, regardless of the outcome. We have a winning day, 2-0 so far. Should be 2-1. I think it's going to be 2-1. Let's see what's going on with Barnsley down in League One. They have lowly Fleetwood Town. And Barnsley has hit a stalemate. They scored an early goal, but haven't done much since. Let's hope we can get a final goal here from Barnsley, who need another goal. Blackpool and Peterborough, they're in the 59th minute and tied 1-1. For anyone that's not aware, Peterborough United have went over in 23 straight games. This has been a must bet. We really need a couple of late goals from Barnsley, and we don't really care who scores in Peterborough and Blackpool. We just need a goal. So it looks like a decent start to the day in soccer. We'll see how it all ends. What are your thoughts on Michigan and Michigan State? I'm still trying to understand how Juwan Howard has a job. I don't know that I understand this. At what more do you need to see with this guy? I don't get it. This team sucks. I mean, I thought that was pretty clear the other night. This team has had an opportunity to go on the road and play well against Michigan State before, lost by 20. Do I think a home court advantage is going to change much? No. I lean over. Michigan can't stop a fucking nosebleed either. This is another team that can't stop anybody. What more do we need to see from Michigan? Seems like they've quit, doesn't it? Seems like they quit. The only 2 times they've won, though, recently has been at home. I don't know, maybe you get something from them here, but I can't back them. Huey, you have 2 games today that I think are very tough. Yale and then this game. Lean over, though. What do I think about Auburn and Kentucky? Well, this number opened and then was quickly bet up to 10, and now it's down to 8.5. I thought 10 was high. Look, I will say Auburn is dominating at home. They've won every game this year at home by more than 10 points. The only team to get close was A&M, who I think lost by 11. Kentucky, though, is outside of Tennessee, the other competent team in this conference that I think can actually win it. Kentucky defensively is just so bad. I mean, I don't care what they did the other night. This is a totally different game. Kentucky, though, will score. I mean, they're a very efficient offense. Leaned over. I mean, this number quickly, total-wise, got bet up. I think it was an open 162.5. It was quickly bet up to 164.5. I think I saw even a 165 at one point. It's kind of centered around 164.5. So I thought 10 was 8.5 is even high. But remember, you're betting into a team that has not lost any game at home, and they've won every game by more than 10 points. So Kentucky, if I had to bet a side, but I think the over is probably the better play. What are your thoughts on Wake, Virginia? Well, listen, I mean, Virginia, it's always about are they at home or away. Yeah, I can't bet Virginia away, but they're not away today. They're home. Virginia is a team, though, that's not completely unbeatable when they're at home. I mean, they lost the other night to Pitt. I think Wake's good, man. This is the one team I think outside of Duke or Carolina that's any good in this conference. Wake's solid. Wake's solid. That said, they've really struggled on the road. We've heard this time and time again. They really struggled on the road. That said, if you can make free throws and you can hit 3 balls, you can hang in the game against Virginia. We know they're going to play that pack line defense where everything's packed in. 3-point line is going to be open to you. If Wake can hit threes, I think they can hang in this game. But it's a difficult thing to do betting on Virginia against Virginia at home, and they're off a loss. And they're facing a team that has not been very good on the road. I lean Virginia, quite honestly, just having a win. But again, another tough game. This is a tough card, guys. Kenny Woo says, what do you think about Colorado at USC? Buffs need to win. USC sucks. I know the Buffs aren't good on the road, but should be able to find a way. I agree. I don't want to lay points here. I don't want to lay 3, 4, 5. Just having to win, though, I think they win. I do. This is a road game, but they've been in California this whole time. They lost the other night to UCLA, who, let's be honest, has been playing well. USC sucks. If the Buffs lose this game, season's over. They're not going to the NCAA tournament. They have to win this game. You can't lose to USC. Because, again, when bracketology comes in, here's what you can't have happen if you're Colorado. This game, if you win, it doesn't change your situation. Okay, you're still a bubble team. Losing this game supremely affects your situation. This is a bad loss if you lose this game. You just can't have it happen. This is a must win. But just because a team has to win doesn't mean they're going to win. But I would lean Buffs here. I think they bounce back. This is a really strong bubble this year. I think Utah's really solid. I think Nevada's really solid. We know Gonzaga's solid, and they're always going to get the benefit due to their huge fan base. I think Seton Hall's solid. Cincy's tough and a good conference. Wake's tough. Villanova's always tough. Memphis. Colorado has to have this game. You cannot lose on the road at USC. You can't. So I think if you're using the desperation fact, agree. And look, they've been disappointing Colorado. This is a solid roster. They're a big team. I thought they'd be better. So I hear your point. I agree. James Abelli, Butler +3 against Creighton, home dog. Yeah, but remember, I mean, first time these guys played, if you actually look at shot quality, which shows you what the score should have been, let's say, Creighton won. It was a high-scoring game, one of those random games, really high scoring. I hear your point, though. I'm not a Creighton guy. I don't bet their games. There's just too much variance in them. I get your point. Should Butler be a home dog? They get Posh back. They didn't have him in the first game. I agree with you. Seems like every game Creighton plays is close. So, yeah, I get your sentiment here. A big game of the day. What do you think about Marquette, UConn? I like Marquette. I've been saying, and I think I will be vindicated eventually. I don't think UConn is as good as everybody thinks they are. Look, if they come out and win by 10 today, then I'll give them their flowers. I think this number's crazy. I kind of missed, how is UConn 6-7 points better than Marquette? Can someone explain that to me? I can give you 4, but 6-7? I don't see it. Again, I think this number's way lower than it should. It should be way lower. I think this is a game that comes down to the final possession or two. Do I think UConn wins by 3+ possessions? No, I don't. No, I don't. I think Marquette can absolutely hang with UConn. These are the two teams in this conference. Nobody else. Nobody's worried about any other team in this conference. But to me, when the rubber meets the road, I just don't think Marquette is 6.5 points worse than UConn. And if you can explain how they are, I'd like to hear it. But you always hear Connecticut fans are some of the dumbest fans in the country. All they are is rah-rah. They never actually provide truth. And they will say, well, we won the national title. I get it. Good. Congrats. What do I give a fuck? That's not this year, is it? If you can competently tell me how they're 7 points better than Marquette, I'd like to hear it. If I'm Marquette, and this is kind of the concern sometimes, maybe his own, but Connecticut started to really knock down their 3 balls. But Marquette is really good on offense. I think kind of evens out. I think this game's closer than the number indicates. All right, guys, I'll be on for 5 or so more minutes here. A lot of games. Can't get to all of them. What do you think about Youngstown, Cleveland State? Youngstown's another team that make things very difficult. Very difficult. I mean, they're not good on defense. And they're like Eastern Washington. Every game's 84-81. I don't have much issue with playing them. They're a really good team, but they are bad defensively. Stacks play of the day is Nicholls State +10. Wow, you're betting into McNeese? That's never easy. I can't get behind it. I get your point. I think if there's any team to compete with McNeese, it'd be Nicholls, but I think McNeese is way better than any other team in this conference. Way better. McNeese State, it's almost unfair the amount of good players they have in this conference. McNeese has literally 7 or 8 players that are high D1 talent. And Will Wade is a really great coach, but due to his behavior off the court, he has to go coach at somewhere like McNeese. Remember, this was an SEC caliber coach who was winning. But, and let's just be real, who actually cares about what he did? No one, because everybody did it. This whole we have to discipline Will Wade because he did stuff with his recruits. Everybody does. Really? We're still doing that crap? And not for nothing. The fucking FBI wiretapped him doing this. Doesn't the FBI have way bigger problems to deal with? I mean, what the fuck are we talking about here? And that's why McNeese State is so good. Will Wade is an elite coach, and he's at fucking McNeese State because of some bullshit that everybody was doing. Understand. Do people understand why Will Wade is under indictment, if you will? Because on a wiretap, he said that he had a strong-ass offer to a recruit. Something that, let's be honest, every other coach does. It's just the fucking FBI decides to look into it at some point for God knows why, because they didn't bring any criminal charges, and there are none. Crazy. Yeah, I can't bet into McNeese, but I wish you the best, Justin McElvey. I really do. I really do. I love McNeese, though. I think they're a team that can make a run in March. I really hope they get to the tournament. I really do. UMass LaSalle, I got nothing on that. I have no interest in laying points at UMass. None. Zero. Akron and Buffalo. Buffalo's horrible. That's a real bad basketball team. What a fall from grace they've been. A couple of years ago, they were in the NCAA tournament a couple of times, making runs. But, George Halkovich has had a tough go of it. This is a bad team. I've only won one game in conference. It was way back on January 2nd. They're dead last in defense and offense. They're a layup line on defense. I actually like Akron a little bit here. I think this number was a little too low. It really hasn't mattered where Buffalo's played this year. They have gotten pummeled. I mean, if they kept the game within single digits in a long time, well, they actually did the other night against Northern Illinois, but that's no great shakes. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. We've been on here nearly an hour. Had a good time. Went through a bunch of games. Let me recap what I like today. I like K-State money line against TCU. I like Texas +10. I like Arkansas +12.5. I like Morehead -3 against UT Martin. And who doesn't love Morehead? And number 5, I like Weber. I like Weber State, the Fighting Damian Lillards, and Eastern Washington, the Fighting Cole Beasley. I believe he went to Eastern Washington. No, he went to Wyoming, didn't he? Who went to Eastern Washington? I don't know. Whoever the Fighting whoever's are. No, Cole Beasley went to SMU. What am I saying? Whatever. I look EW Weber over 150. As far as the other play, UMBC Albany over 174. I like that as well. Bernard King says, folks have never idea. Not sure what you mean.
Might I offer you a Cooper Cup for Eastern Washington?
Oh, there you go. I was thinking of white receiver. Cole Beasley went to SMU. Yeah, it was Cooper Cup. Very good. Very good. Yeah, when they had the red turf, they were very high scoring offense. Bernard King. I don't know what you're talking about. Rodney Stuckey went to Eastern Washington? I didn't know that. All right. So Watford has pulled one back. They have one. We need 2 more for Watford. I'm not exactly confident that they can do that, but hey, stranger things happen, and Rotherham are real bad. Is it 1.5 I have or 2.5? 1.5. I only need 1 more goal. We've got 20 or so minutes for 1 more goal, boys. It's not exactly. It could be a 3-0 day. We need 1 more goal from Watford. And Rotherham stinks. What have we got in Barnsley? Do we have a goal yet in Barnsley? Yes! Boom! Barnsley, winner! 2-1. Bang! Peterborough, give me something good. All right. We still have 20 plus. We could have, guys, everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm. If you're not telling me, I don't know where you've been. But we are staring down the barrel. Possibly. We have a winning day regardless. It's a winning day again, regardless. But we don't care just about 3-2 days. We want 5-0 days in England. England is the best. And we need to keep at it with this league, in these leagues, because they're the best. Peterborough, we just need 1 more goal. We just need 1 more. Everyone have a great day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I don't have a show. I just give them out on Twitter, and you have to find me. I put them out Friday night usually. I'll have some tomorrow for Italy. I'll actually have a play later in Italy, Sassuolo and Atlanta. Everyone have a great day. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you all being here. Thanks to Jose for producing. And again, if you want to go to Pubapalooza, please check out what's going on at Post Search Radio and jump aboard. We'd like to see you there. I know everybody would like to see you, and I know a lot of people already be there. So Yeah. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for watching. We're here every Saturday at 10:30 Eastern. Take care and have a great Saturday. See ya.